A quiet revolution is underway, one that is transforming the very foundations of international relations and global economics. Across continents, the balance of global power is shifting, as new alliances and partnerships begin to reshape the world order in ways few could have predicted just a decade ago. While traditional alliances like NATO and the G7 still dominate headlines, BRICS has rapidly emerged as a major force on the world stage, expanding its influence and challenging the dominance of the old order. What began as a small club of emerging economies, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, has now grown into a powerful coalition that commands global attention, representing not only a vast share of the world's population, but also a significant portion of its economic output. Its recent expansion, welcoming new members and partners, signals a fundamental reordering of international politics and trade, with ripple effects felt in every corner of the globe. What's truly remarkable is that even European nations, long considered pillars of the Western alliance, are now openly exploring the possibility of BRICS membership, a move that would have seemed unthinkable just a few years ago. This unprecedented shift highlights not only growing dissatisfaction with the current status quo, but also a pragmatic search for new partnerships and opportunities in an increasingly interconnected world. The world is now entering a truly multipolar era, where power is more evenly distributed, and BRICS stands as a potent symbol of this new reality, offering an alternative vision for global cooperation. Its ability to attract new members, including from Europe, demonstrates not only its growing appeal but also the profound and lasting implications for the future of the global order. To truly grasp the significance of today's shifting global landscape, it's essential to understand BRICS, a powerful alliance that's been steadily gaining influence on the world stage. The name BRICS is an acronym for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. These 5 countries, each with their own unique cultures and histories, have come together as a coalition of rapidly developing economies. They are united by a shared ambition to have a stronger voice in shaping global affairs and to challenge the dominance of traditional Western powers. For years, these nations felt sidelined and underrepresented in major international institutions like the IMF and World Bank, where decision-making power has long been concentrated in the hands of a few wealthy countries. In response, they formed BRICS to coordinate their policies, amplify their collective influence, and advocate for a more balanced and equitable world order. Even before any recent expansion, BRICS already represented more than 40% of the world's population, and accounted for a significant portion of global GDP. This sheer scale gives the group considerable economic weight and a growing say in international matters. Each member brings something distinct to the table: China's manufacturing power, India's booming tech sector, Russia's vast energy resources, Brazil's agricultural might, and South Africa's mineral wealth. Together they form a diverse alliance with economic, demographic, and strategic strengths. But BRICS is more than just statistics. The group has established its own institutions, such as the New Development Bank, which funds infrastructure and development projects, providing alternatives to Western-led financial systems and supporting growth on their own terms. Another key initiative is the Contingent Reserve Arrangement, which offers financial security to member countries in times of crisis, further reducing their dependence on the US dollar and strengthening their economic resilience. Through these efforts, BRICS is building an alternative financial architecture, one that aims to reshape the rules of global finance and create a more multipolar world where emerging economies have a real seat at the table. The biggest shock? European-aligned nations are now seeking BRICS membership. Turkey, a NATO member and EU candidate, has officially applied to join BRICS, a bold move that's rattling Western capitals. Turkish officials frame this as a search for alternatives in a world where old alliances no longer guarantee security or prosperity. Russia has welcomed Turkey's interest, underscoring the geopolitical stakes. This pivot is the result of years of Turkish foreign policy aimed at balancing East and West. For Turkey, joining BRICS means becoming a bridge between Europe, Asia, and the Middle East, gaining leverage on the world stage. For BRICS, Turkey's accession would be a strategic win, expanding its reach and appeal to other nations feeling sidelined by the West. This move could accelerate the global shift toward a multipolar order. Why is Turkey, long an EU hopeful, turning to BRICS? After nearly 2 decades of stalled EU accession talks, frustration and disillusionment run deep in Ankara. The EU cites concerns over democracy and human rights, but Turkey sees double standards and political roadblocks. Despite its strategic importance to Europe, Turkey feels kept at arm's length for reasons beyond policy. This sense of exclusion has fueled a search for alliances where Turkey is treated as an equal. BRICS offers economic cooperation and development without the political strings attached by the EU. Membership means access to new markets, development financing, and greater diplomatic clout. For Erdogan's government, BRICS is a pragmatic alternative to the West. It's a chance to sidestep criticism and pursue national interests on a global stage. BRICS's expansion is rapidly reshaping the global landscape, signaling a major shift in international power dynamics. What began as a loose coalition of 5 emerging economies has now evolved into a formidable alliance with growing influence across continents. In 2024, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, and the UAE officially joined the group, followed by Indonesia in 2025. This wave of new members has transformed BRICS from a regional bloc into a truly global coalition, reflecting the aspirations of nations from Africa, the Middle East, and Southeast Asia to play a more prominent role on the world stage. Today, the bloc stretches across Asia, Africa, South America, and the Middle East, uniting countries with diverse cultures, economies, and political systems. Together, BRICS now represents 45% of the world's population and over a third of global GDP, making it one of the most significant alliances in modern history. The motivations for joining BRICS are as varied as its members. Some seek to escape the grip of Western sanctions, while others are eager to access development finance or forge new trade partnerships that bypass traditional power centers. For many, BRICS offers an economic lifeline and a chance to diversify their international relationships. For others, it's a powerful platform to amplify their voice in global affairs and advocate for a more balanced world order. The new development bank, BRICS' own financial institution, provides funding for infrastructure and development projects without the strict conditions often imposed by the IMF or World Bank. This flexibility is especially attractive to countries seeking alternatives to traditional Western-led financial systems. As a result, BRICS has become a magnet for emerging nations eager to have a bigger say in shaping the future of the global economy and international governance. Dozens more countries are now lining up to join, viewing BRICS as the premier club for the global South, a place where their interests and voices are not only heard, but actively championed. With this growing momentum, BRICS is no longer just an alternative to Western alliances. It is fast becoming a central player in the 21st century world order, shaping the future of international relations. At the core of BRICS is a bold economic vision, reducing dependence on the US dollar. Dollar dominance gives the US outsized power, sanctions, monetary policy, and global influence. BRICS counters this by promoting trade in local currencies, with China leading efforts to internationalize the yuan. The inclusion of major energy exporters like the UAE and Iran could shift oil sales away from the dollar, challenging its global status. The new development bank issues loans in local currencies, strengthening members' financial independence. The contingent reserve arrangement offers a safety net outside IMF control. The goal isn't to replace the dollar but to create a multipolar currency system, giving countries more choice and resilience. For BRICS, it's about economic sovereignty and building a fairer, more representative global financial system. Turkey's potential entry into BRICS could fracture traditional Western alliances like NATO. As a key NATO member, Turkey's dual alignment with BRICS and the West would create unprecedented geopolitical complexity. The upcoming BRICS summit in Kazan will be pivotal, with expansion and new membership criteria on the agenda. The world is watching. Will BRICS solidify its challenge to the Western-led order, or reveal internal divisions? BRICS's parallel financial systems and de-dollarization efforts could fragment the global economy into competing blocs. For businesses and smaller nations, navigating this new landscape will be increasingly complex. The expansion of BRICS is more than a headline. It's a sign of a world in transition with new centers of power emerging. The choices made now will shape the global order for generations to come.